Hello students. Today let's start see the conceptual problem regarding to the chapter electromagnetic waves. I have explained a number of conceptual problems regarding to other chapters. So here I am just going to take the conceptual problems regarding to electromagnetic waves. So actually in case of electromagnetic waves, as it is you can say that it is mixture of electric field and magnetic field. Means in the case of electromagnetic wave, as you know that electric and magnetic fields both are oscillating mutually perpendicular to the direction of propagation and means here in this case of electromagnetic waves, not only here is electric field, not only the magnetic field, here both fields are present, and that's why we have to study both of the things in the case of electromagnetic waves. So there can be a number of questions regarding to this. So first question I have just carried, that is the related case of displacement current, and also you have seen that in the Maxwell's fourth equation. So question is that induced electric field due to change in magnetic flux are more readily observed. As we have seen that if there is change in magnetic flux occur, then due to that change there is an induced electric field is observed. So the question is, I think, very simple. That is clear to you. So here we have to give the region of the readily observation of induced electric field in comparison to induced magnetic field. So what is the as you know that when there is change in electric field occur, then due to that there is the production of displacement current between the capacitors plates of the capacitor, and that displacement current is very small, and due to that small displacement current, the magnetic field produced, that is also very small. So that cannot be observed easily. And also when an AC circuit is supplied to a whole circuit, means if that induced magnetic field can be increased with the help of change in frequency of the battery or circuit which supply which we are using. So in case of this, as due to change in electric field, a small magnetic field is observed, and also that small magnetic field can be increased with increase in S frequency. So that is due to displacement current, the introduction of magnetic field that is hard to observe. And also in case of changing magnetic flux, if there is change in magnetic flux occur, then there is a introduction of induced electric field is obtained, and that induced electric field depends on the number of turns in the coils, and means the induced EMF in every turn, that can be, means total induced EMF can be obtained by simply adding the induced EMF in every turn. So if there is the increment in number of turns, then there can be increment in the case of induced electric field. So this is very easy to observe, and here we can see more change in comparison to this field. So I think there is no confusion to you. Simple. In the first case, as every turn we can see the induced EMF, and we can add that, and we can easily calculate or observe the value of induced electric field. But in case of induced magnetic field, as there is the introduction of displacement current, and due to that displacement current, the magnetic field induced, that is very small, so that is hard to observe. So here the reply of this question, I think that is clear to you. So if this question is clear, then let's see some other such types of questions regarding to the topic electromagnetic waves. So the next question is also related to displacement current and conduction current. As in this case, here introduction of displacement current, you have also seen this topic in the when you were studying about the capacitors. So I have just taken this because here in electromagnetic wave, both the fields, electric and magnetic fields, are existing here. So that's why I have taken this conceptual problem. The question is that A capacitor of capacitance C is being charged up by connecting it across a DC voltage source of voltage V. So how do the conduction and displacement currents in this setup compare when with each other when we are charging the capacitor and when capacitor gets fully charged. So there are two conditions during the charging and when capacitors is fully charged. Then in that condition, what will be the conduction and displacement current? How can we compare them? So we have to answer this question. This question can be answered very easily with the help of properties of continuity. So properties of continuity tells us that the conduction current that will be equal to the displacement current in both of the condition. Means if there is the introduction and means there is production of conduction current, then between the plates of the capacitor there can be the also production of displacement current, and that will be equal with the help of, we can say, property of continuity. So this question, answer of this question is can be easily be given with the help of property of continuity. So when the capacitor is charging, then if we are connecting the supply in to the capacitor. So in the connecting wires there is a conduction current that is flowing and during the charging. So in that sense, in the between the plates of the capacitor, equivalent displacement current is also set up. So during the charging there is an equivalent displacement current between the plates of the capacitor, as there is the conduction current in the connecting wire due to supply. Clear? Means simple, we have to use the property of continuity, and with the help of that we can easily say that displacement current and conduction current that will be equivalent if there is charging process is occurring. Means we are connecting the source to charge the capacitor, and obviously in connecting wires there will be a flow of charge. So if there is a flow of charge and there is a conduction current in the connecting wire, then at the same time in the between the plates of the capacitor there will be also an introduction of displacement current that will be equivalent to that. The second question is, after the charge capacitor gets fully charged. So as you know that when the capacitor is fully charged, then in that condition the conduction current in the circuit that becomes zero. Means there is no current that is flow in the circuit when capacitor is fully charged. So if there will be conduction current that is zero. So with the help of property of continuity we can say that easily the displacement current between the plates of the capacitor that will be also zero. So we can compare easily this with the help of property of continuity. I think there is no confusion in that why the displacement current will be zero here, as that after getting fully charged, then the conduction current that becomes zero, and at the same time due to property of continuity displacement current will also zero. So I think this question is simply clear to you. How can we compare? This question is related to actually capacitor problem. I have just taken it due to electromagnetic waves here. Now let's see some properties of electromagnetic wave. As you have seen the questions on the equations with the help of Maxwell's 4 equation that is given for the description of electromagnetic waves. So let's see some questions regarding to Maxwell's equations, and first we will write that equation. After that we will see the questions which can be asked with the help of Maxwell's force equation. So in next question we have to solve it for Maxwell's equations as it is given on the board, and question is that the 4 Maxwell's equation and Lorentz force law are listed below. These actually Maxwell's equation and Lorentz force law, they are collectively make the base of classical electromagnetism. Means with the help of these 5 equations we can easily describe all of the phenomena that are possessing by electromagnetic waves, like reflection, refraction, diffraction. Means the wave property and the all wave phenomena can be explained on the basis of these 4 equations and Lorentz law force. So we have to answer some of the questions regarding to these equations. Actually Maxwell's equation are the fundamental, are the base of the uh, classical electromagnetism. So as it is very important, then definitely there can be a number of conceptual questions related to it. So we have a number of conceptual questions which are related to it. So first question is that give the name associated with some of the four equations. Means as every four equations have some name, and also Maxwell's have taken that equations from electrostatic, magnetostatic, electrodynamics, magnetodynamics. So these are the equations given by other scientists, and he only collect that them for the electromagnetic wave. As electric and magnetic fields are perpendicular in electromagnetic waves, means both the fields are contained. That's why he has taken all these values. So first equation is Gauss law of electrostatics, second is Gauss law of magnetostatics. So such types of name we have to assign in this answer. Next question is that which equation above contains source of E and B and which don't. Means in the four equations there are two equations that contains the source of E and B, means from which we can say that there is producing electric and magnetic field, but production of electric and magnetic field, and some of not. So we have to mention them. And also there is one question in this that is, what do the equations reduce to in a source free region? Suppose that if there is no source, means we are talking about free space or vacuum, then what will be the case of equation in that case? Next question is that write down Maxwell's equation for steady magnetic and electric field. Suppose that if magnetic and electric field are steady, they are not varying, then what will be the equations for the Maxwell's? So there are number of conditions we can impose on the Maxwell's equation, and Maxwell equations will change according to that conditions. So there are some more questions. Let's see them also. After that I'll tell you solutions. So the next question is that is the question number D, that is, if magnetic monopole existed, which of the equations would be modified? Suppose, as you know that if because there are no existence of magnetic monopoles, but if magnetic monopole existed, then what should be the modification in the Maxwell's equation, and we have to suggest how they might be modified. Okay. Next question is that which of the four equations show that magnetic field lines cannot start from a point nor end at a point? The next question is that which of the four equations show that electrostatic field lines cannot form closed loops? So we can already we know that from Gauss law of electrostatic this question. The answer is very simple, but yeah. With every Maxwell's equation there is a physical significance attached to it, so you should know them also, because there can be number of questions regarding to that physical significance. Next question is that the equations listed above refer to integrals of E and B over the loop. So as we are seeing that these equations are in integral form, but can we write down these equations for E and B for each point in space? Means if we want to calculate it for every point in space, so is that is possible or not? We have to mention it. Next question is that are these equations are true for different types of media? Like we have, suppose that conducting media, dielectric media, plasma media, means if electromagnetic wave is passing through these types of media, then these equations are true or not? Yes, we have to reply for this question. Next question is that are the equations true for arbitrarily high and low E, B, Q and I? So means if there is high value of E, B, Q and I or low value of E, B, Q and I, then whether these equations are true or not. So we have to answer all these questions. There are number of questions I have taken with the help of Maxwell's equations, and also there can be a number of questions on that besides these all points. So let's see the solutions one by one. So the answer of questions app you have seen that on the screen. So first question was that name the four equation or Maxwell's equation that is associated with them. So first law, as I told you already, this is Gauss law of electrostatic. Second is Gauss law of magnetostatic. Third is Faraday law of electromagnetic induction. And fourth equation is modified Ampere's law. If you drop this value here, then it is known as Ampere's law, but here the modification is done due to the displacement current. So if we see that things, then this is known as modified Ampere's law. So I think name is that is clear to you. First is Gauss electrostatic law, second is Gauss magnetostatic law, third is Faraday law of electromagnetic induction, and fourth is modified Ampere's law. So the first question, answer of first question is simply clear to you. What is the name associated with them? The question second is that which of the equations contain the source of electric and magnetic field? So as you know that the source of electric and magnetic field that are charge and current, means if there are the presence of charge, then there will be presence of electric field, and also if there is changing current occur, then or current is flowing in the circuit, then there can be introduction of magnetic field. So current and charge and current, that are the basic keys for the production of electric and magnetic field. So in these equations, four equations, as this equation contains charge property and this equation contains current property, so first and fourth equation contains the production of E and B, or electric or magnetic field, and the second and third equation don't contain. So I think this is clear to you. The second question is that there is one more part in that question, that is write down the equation when we are taking the case of free space. Means suppose that electromagnetic wave is moving in free space or vacuum, then what will be the four Maxwell's equation in that case? So as you know that in case of free space, as there is no charge present, so the value of rho will be 0, and also if there is no charge, there can be no current in that space, so I will be 0 also. So put the values rho equal to 0 and I equal to 0, the values obtained, that will be the case of Maxwell's equation. So finally the Maxwell equation, that will be first E dot ds, that will be 0, second B dot ds, that will be 0, third E dot dl minus d by t surface integral of P dot ds, and the last fourth equation, that is B dot dl, that is equal to mu 0 d dt of surface integral E dot ds. And also from this equation, this value will be also 0, so you can write this value also. But first here the all the values I think related to that, this is clear to you. What will be the values of actually guys, here should be also epsilon 0, so here will be also the introduction of epsilon 0. Okay, so these are the equations that will be when electromagnetic wave moves in free space. So though I think the two questions of these all of the question, that is clear to you. So that let's see the third question of the which all these equations contain, as I have already shown you that in the screen. So let's see the answer of third question. So the next question is third is that if there is steady electric and magnetic field, then which of the equation, what will be the modification in this equation? So as you know that if there is the steady electric field or magnetic field, so there cannot be change in that electric or magnetic field. So in third question, third equation, as you have seen that this electric field is EMF is obtained, induced electric field is obtained when there is change in magnetic field. So if magnetic field is steady, it means its value will be 0 in this case. So what will be the modification? That will be in the third equation, that will be E dot dl, this value will be 0, because if this value is constant, its differentiation will be 0 obviously. and there will be also a modification in fourth equation, as this value second term represent the change in electric field. So if the electric field is constant, obviously its derivative that will be 0. So here the equation fourth, that will be also B dot dl, its value will be equal to mu 0 I, and that is the equation for the Ampere's law. Also you know that is for steady current. So if a magnetic and electric field are steady, then second, third and fourth equation will be modified. Clear? So next question is that if there is if there is the existence of magnetic monopoles, as you know that the magnetic monopoles doesn't exist, but if magnetic monopole exists, then which of the equations should be modified and how can they will be modified? So we can also see that with the help of this. So suppose if there will be the existence of magnetic pole, then this equation should be modified here, because this equation represent that magnetic monopole doesn't exist. But if there will be the existence of magnetic field, then there should be a modification in the case, means there should be a charge, suppose that this, and a constant should be multiplied here to represent the existence of magnetic pole monopoles. Like here we represent the existence of electric monopoles with the help of charge and some product of the constant. So in the same sense, there should be also some charge and also a multiplication of constant with it to represent the modification if magnetic monopole existed. And also there will be a modification in the equation third, as here also we have seen that there is no the existence of magnetic field. So if magnetic field will be existed, then obviously this equation there should be, and also introduction of current in the circuit. So if suppose that this current due to magnetic monopoles, that is the IM, this is charge due to magnetic monopole, that is current due to magnetic monopole. So here should be the addition of this in the equation. So finally the equation will be of this form. So this is the modification. There should be the modification when there is the existence of magnetic monopoles, means due to the magnetic monopole obviously there will be some current and also charge in the circuit or electromagnetic waves. So that should be modified here. So then we have to add these quantities to represent the magnetic monopoles here. Like we have to see in the first and fourth equation, as here electric monopoles existed. So due to that, here a constant is also, a value is observed here and a value is observed here. So in the same sense, in second and third equation the values will be observed also. But as you know that magnetic monopoles never existed, so these equations naturally that there is no need of modification. But if the question arises here, as I am talking about conceptual questions, so if I just ask you such types of question, then you must know the answer of this question, then what should be modification in that case. So I think the answers of this question is also clear to you. This is very basic but very important question, then what should be modification in this case. So I think there is no confusion regarding to that. So let's see the solution of other questions in this equation. So the next question is that which equation explains the magnetic field for the magnetic field lines cannot start from a point or cannot end at a point. Means neither the magnetic field lines can start from a point, neither can end at the point. Means magnetic monopoles doesn't exist. Here we are talking about that. So this is represented by equation 2. So Maxwell's second equation represents that magnetic field lines cannot start from a point or cannot end at the point. There will be two end, means one starting end and one's ending point, means they will form closed loop, and also there should be dipoles. There cannot be the existence of monopoles. This can be represented by with the help of second Maxwell's equation. So I think the question answer of E, that is clear to you. The next question is that which of the equation shows that electric field lines cannot form closed loop. So it means that simple electric field lines can form electric monopoles. So this equation is represented by, this answer is given by first equation. So this first equation tells us that electric field lines can be created with the help of one charge, and there should not be the necessity of closed loops in that case. And also the charge contained in the closed between the capacitor, that is 0. So here the case is that simple. Electric field lines cannot form the closed loops, as if they have to form the closed loop, this equation should be 0 here. And also the case should be the electric field can be only obtained when there is the existence of dipoles. So if there are no 2 points in case of electric field can be generated with the help of monopoles. So definitely there cannot be the observation of closed loop in case of electric field. So that is represented by equation first. So next question is where we have that as we have taken the integral forms of E and B in case of Maxwell's equation. So whether this equation can be write down for each point in a space. So yes, we can write this equation, these equations at every point, at every instant in the space, means electromagnetic waves can be defined at every point, at every instant in the space. And as we can convert with the help of Green's theorem, Green's divergence theorem and Stokes theorem, these integral form into the differential form. So if they are represented by differential form, then we can say easily that at every instant we can represent the point, because differentiation, that is that represented the discrete value, definite value at every point in the space. So simply at every instant, at every point in the space, that can be specified also with the help of these 4 Maxwell's equation, and we can specify that with the help of differential form of Maxwell's equations. Clear? And the next question is also that can we observe these Maxwell's equations when there are different medias, like we have the conducting medium, we have the dielectric medium, we have plasma medium. So whether these equations should be observed there also or not, means yes, we can observe these 4 electromagnetic equations for electromagnetic waves or Maxwell's equation in every media. This is true for every medium, only the values of these can be changed, because as you know that in different medium the value of rho, value of mu, value of epsilon, that can be changed, that depends on the medium. So only their values will change, but these equations will be valid for all of the medium, whether the medium is conducting, whether the medium is dielectric, whether the medium is plasma. For all of the medium we can have these 4 Maxwell's equation. With the help of that we can even obtain the different property, we can know the different property of electromagnetic medium when it is propagating through such types of medium. What will be the velocity, what will be the form of them, whether they are oscillating or decelerating or such types of all things we can explain with the help of these Maxwell's equation in that medium. And the last question is that are the equations are arbitrarily high or low values, or means these equations are true for high or low values of E, B, Q and I. So yes, these equations are true with the domain of classical electromagnetism, means these are true for every values of E, B, I and Q. So means if we have taken these values, then that will be true for every value. Yes, but if the system is macroscopic, then at that case, as there are a large number of particles there, so that's why in that case we have to take the average values of them. But definitely for every values within the domain of classical electromagnetism, for every values of E, B, Q and I, these all equations are true for them also. So I think the basic questions regarding to Maxwell's equations that are clear to you. There are a number of questions that can be asked with the help of these equations. These are very important equation and fundamental of electromagnetic wave. Means we can explain every property of electromagnetic wave. Means every property of wave nature of light or other electromagnetic waves can be explained with the help of these four Maxwell's equations and Lorentz law. And also we can describe them in the different media. So what will be the effect in that case, and we can also prove every uh, uh, law and problems with the help of these equations. So these are the fundamental of electromagnetic waves. So first you need to know if there will be any change in these fundamental equations, then what will be the change on the field or equations or other things. So that's why I have taken this large number of questions regarding to this. There can be also a number of questions that can be taken with the help of them. Later I will discuss all these things in next class, because there are number of questions, that conceptual question that can be asked to you in the examination based on these problems. So in next class let's see some next conceptual problem on the chapter electromagnetic wave. So let's end the class here. We will see the rest of the thing in next class. Thank you guys.